Hello everybody and welcome to my video, Getting Tidier. I hope you're well and I hope you've had a good start to the week. So just to say, my videos are going maybe in a slightly strange order by the time you watch them. I did my massive pantry sort out yesterday, which I do a tiny little clip on, you'll see in this video. But I'd also done a big sort out of the bedroom. So you're going to have to wait a little bit longer for the pantry sort out, because I've got this video and I'm now recording the voiceover after the voiceover that I've done for the pantry. So I might talk about things that I've already talked about. Who knows? So this morning I delivered my workshop on business finance. I had 10 attendees. A couple of people turn up late. One person had to leave early. They're quite an inexperienced group because they're just starting off in their career. So some of them ask questions, others sit quite quietly, others clearly are never going to go into the world of finance, but others are very, very keen and ask lots of really good questions. And I can see them writing down notes, which is super. So I decided at weekends I really needed to do more work on sorting out my bedroom and tidying up and sorting clothes out. I really hate the situation when I get to the points of, oh dear, you know, when you've got loads and loads of baskets full of clothes and you have to take the clothes out of the baskets because they're not in the drawer. And I'm doing that at the moment. And then when you start having to hunt through baskets in the morning to find certain items of clothing, I really can't bear that. So I decided to put loads of my clothes away and some of my husband's. I also decided, see, I've got that big blanket on the floor. I've got the big blanket on the floor and I've got a fleece and I've got another bed throw. And then I've got that big bed throw that you just now saw me fold up. That is really heavy and kind of big, and it's nice. But something has been spilt on it over the years. It's got like some big stain on it. I tried to wash it and it wouldn't wash out. And I look and think, actually, am I being sensible keeping that when it's got a massive great stain on? Yes, it's still got more wear in it, but it's got a massive great stain on. I have had wear out of it over the years. And yes, okay, I could keep on using it throughout winter, but I've got others that I can use. So I decided to get rid of that. And then on the bed, I'm moving loads and loads of the piles of clothes that are on the floor onto the bed to put away and sort through. There's also some clothes that are my daughter's. We've got some other things that she wanted to keep. But I've said to her, look, in reality, if you do have a daughter, are you actually going to want me to dress your children in these clothes? You know, one of them had got a mark on it. So we decided to be very sensible. And she's kept one dress which has got like a beautiful rabbit on. And it's almost new. And all the other things, I'm either going to get rid of the items which are stained, and the other items I'm going to sell because they're all mini Bowden, and mini Bowden do hold their value. So yeah, I had the workshop this morning and then I made lunch. Now my husband's gone into the office today and I contacted the school about the part in the book that I wasn't happy about. It's graphic detail, which really, when you look the book up online, it says it's appropriate for 12-year-olds to 17-year-olds. And I know obviously everyone's got different views, but you're going to have some 12-year-olds that are going to be like 18-year-olds in terms of how they're living their life, sadly. But you're going to have some 12-year-olds which are just how 12-year-olds should be. And you know that I do feel that childhood is very precious. I feel it's very fleeting. I certainly never read the book that she's reading. I think I'd have been quite shocked. Although when I said to my mum about it, she said no. She said that would go straight over your head. Unless that was something that Emma was interested in, or Emma had a particular, that was relevant to Emma, that would just gone straight over your head. You wouldn't have picked that up. But I think it's different if you're reading the book. If you're reading the book, you're going to kind of absorb more in, I think. So yeah, online it says the book is suitable for 12 to 17-year-olds. And of course, my daughter has just turned 12. It's not a particularly well written novel. It does explore some really important topics like racism, which I think is really good to explain to children. But yeah, other topics I'm not happy about. So the school have rung me back, and I'll see what happens about that. I don't know. I shouldn't get bothered about it, but I do get a bit. I don't know. I suppose it's that feeling of wanting to speak out, wanting to protect your child, wanting to do the right thing, but also the fact that I'm going to have to go in, have a meeting with the school, etc., etc. So we'll see. So like I said yesterday, something else for me to think about. So in this container, this was a wise idea of someone that said to me, get a container with the specific items of clothes that you want to keep. So I did that, and then I filled the container in about 2 seconds flat. So what I decided to do here is go back through the box and just double check, am I keeping all the right things? And there were a number of things that I thought, I don't need to keep this. And also my daughter said, sort of screwed her face up, like she had no idea why I decided to keep it in the first place. Her school tie is there, and she's got other, items of clothing that yes, she decided she definitely wanted to keep, but quite a few things that we definitely want to get rid of. There was a top that she liked with a picture of a rabbit on, and she said, I wonder whether I could make that into a cushion. So I thought that's a possibility. So you'll see me sorting through that, and then you'll see me spending quite a long time trying to put some of the clothes away. Honestly, our bedroom, I can remember when we first had the loft converted, I remember thinking and saying, the rest of the house might be untidy, but this room is going to be my space, which is going to be completely tidy, clean, clear, and a place of relaxation. And I'm quite lucky. Clutter doesn't stress me out. Clutter really doesn't. I don't feel emotionally affected if I go into a room where there's lots of clutter. I don't know, by the end of this journey I probably will, but that doesn't bother me. But yeah, it's suddenly become like my daughter will come upstairs, leave her pyjamas there, leave a game or books, and it's become full of, no longer a place of with just me and my husband's stuff. It's become much more than that, storage for the house. So I want to kind of go back to my original plan for the room and really take a lot of things out. That's what I'd like to do. And I think I watched Diane in Denmark the other day, and she was talking about decluttering, like makeup brushes and makeup and shampoo and things. The fact of it is, I really don't have much of those sorts of things. I don't think I have a single makeup brush. No, I'm really trying to pulling on my memory here. I'm certain I don't have any makeup brushes. So there's some things I just don't really have much of at all. But there's other things, such as shampoos that I've taken from hotels, which I've collected over the years. And although the shampoo I use, I don't really use all these different body creams and body lotions. So yes, I've been given them or taken them from hotels because I thought I was going to use them. I haven't used them, so I need to get rid of them. So my video that went up Monday evening, thank you so much for all of your comments. Got some really lovely comments and really lovely suggestions, different things for me to think about in terms of the Fly Lady approach and kind of, my approach of keeping on chipping away, which I just think that the fact is, I sometimes think about this, that the more you chip away, I'm making a dent. This is the thing. If I wasn't doing anything, I wouldn't be making a dent in it. So every time I declutter an area, and it's the same for you, every time you declutter an area and tidy an area, you're making a bigger dent, and you're getting there. You're gonna get to that place that you want to be, which is having a lot less clutter and making life a lot easier. And I felt like that with the pantry. I've got rid of so many things, and now I feel like walking in there is so much easier to find things, because before, when I had my camera stand there, I physically couldn't get into the pantry. So that's why sometimes I change the angle of my camera. But often you open it up and all the padded coats are sitting so far up, they take the whole space of the doorway. So yeah, in terms of making your life easier, that's making your life so much more complicated, isn't it, if you can't even get in there? So on the bed there, you can see a peach outfit. That was when my daughter was in James and the Giant Peach, and she was a little peach. And I said to her, do you want to keep this? So she said, well, let me feel the fabric. Oh, that feels nice fabric. That feels like Jellycat. I said, yes, it is. I said, but it is like that. I said, but you can't fit in it. And are you really going to want that in the future? No, she said, I don't think so. I said, how about we put it on Marketplace on Facebook, and that'd be suitable for somebody to wear as a pumpkin, because it looks like a pumpkin too. A pumpkin outfit for Halloween. So she thought that was a good idea. I'm trying to show you on this video like targeted areas which are problematic. There's a big light there in the middle of the floor. That's been there for absolutely ages because the lights in our cupboards need to be replaced. And I have said this to my husband a few times. So we've got all the cupboards have got the wiring all connected, so the cupboards are quite big, so you can put a light on. But none of them actually work at the moment. I'm guessing because the bulbs need to be replaced. And then there's quite a lot of like knickknacks that I was going through, different bits and pieces. Some fabric there and some other things that I just thought, I don't know why I'm keeping this. There's a piece of 1950s fabric there, but it's so badly faded, I don't think anybody would want it. And I've got some birthday banners. I've got some French work there. So much by way of paperwork. I think paperwork's going to be another big challenge. What do you all do with your paperwork? I mean, I've got paperwork going back years and years and years. That's going to take me ages to sort through, and I'm afraid that would be a pretty dull video, watching me shredding documents. So yeah, so I try to kind of look at this in as logical manner as possible. And I think if you're watching this and you're sitting and thinking all the different things you need to do in the house, even if you get up in a little while and just do 10 minutes in a particular problematic area, that will make you feel better. And it will make you feel like you've achieved something. That's the thing. I discovered that Christmas ornament that my daughter bought from Disney, Florida last year. And I guess it's been sitting somewhere in a pile because we didn't have it on the tree last year. So she was quite excited to see that. So she's going to put it on her tree in her bedroom, she says, this year. So there were quite a few little bits and pieces that I just thought I need to be strict with some of these. So some I can use again, but other things need to go in other rooms. And there was some paperwork which I just decided to get rid of straight away. I think where my life's going to be easier though is that I'm not going to allow it to get to this sort of state. In future, I'm just going to decide to get rid of things quicker rather than kind of keeping hold of things. I'm going to make a decision about something much sooner, much quicker. The other thing that I want to do at some point is I want to go through all my flower pots and decide which of those I really love and which one I want to get rid of. Now, I did notice on one of my comments, Holly said how she loved my flower pot or plant plot, which is in the dining room. Now, unfortunately, Holly, that is going to have to go. I absolutely love that pot as well. I'm very, very sad to say that somehow it got broke. I don't quite know how it broke, but there's a big section which is chipped off, and I've looked at it and I thought I could potentially repair it, but I don't know. I can remember I've talked about this before, like we've got some ornaments in the house. So we've got like, have you seen those traditional dogs that used to stand either end of the mantelpiece? You can get some copies and you can get some expensive ones. Well, there was a story from my family where my great aunt, so that was my grandmother on my dad's side, sister, grabbed hold of a hat or something that was on one of them, and it fell on the floor and smashed, and they glued it back together again. And I can remember looking at some of the ornaments which are passed through the family and thinking, why wasn't that just bins? And why was that glued up? And then, of course, I find myself gluing things up. So I was thinking that pot's going to possibly have to go sadly. But then my pots in the front room, there's a few pots that I got from, the lady that I did the gardening for, Margaret. When she moved, there were loads of pots in the shed. And I thought, if I don't ask, I'm not going to get. So I asked whether I'd be allowed to have a couple. And then seeing that the son basically put everything in the skip, I'm really glad I did ask. And her daughter said, yes, help yourself, take whatever you like. So I had a few pots from Margaret's shed, some really nice ones and others that I don't like quite so much. So I thought, well, the time is probably to get rid of the ones that I don't love. Also, I've got a couple that are in like plastic containers. So I thought, well, I can put them into nice pots rather than plastic containers. So I do get quite a lot done in the bedroom, but I would say there's probably a week's worth of work here. I think if I worked on the bedroom every single day for a week, I might be on top of it. There is a lot to do. Because there's still stuff in the cupboards and all the Lego boxes with all the Lego that I need to sort out. But what I can do is I can do, bursts of, great focus on an area, just to think like I did just with the bedroom. Right, I need to put all this washing away. Partly though I was so focused on putting the washing away because I've got 3 more container loads that needs to come up and be put away. So I've got a lot there. So this afternoon I had a meeting with one of my learners that's so keen and bubbly and absolutely lovely to support. I'm really lucky when I get like people that are really, really keen and want to learn and enjoy learning. It's funny because just as I was doing my voiceover, I got a call through from somebody in my team because I'm on call this evening and I'd completely forgotten. I got a text message to say, do you want me to bring the phone round? And I didn't reply to it because I was out and about. Then I picked my daughter up. Then she's had a flute lesson. Then I've had dinner. Then I've arranged with my mum for her to spend some time with my mum. Literally just sat down to do this voiceover. And then the person from my team has called me. I had completely forgotten that I was going to be on call for a few days. It's most unfortunate because I'm supposed to be going away on Friday for the evening. So I've tried to get a swap, but it's not always that easy to get a swap. So you can see my kitchen is fairly clear. Over by the right, it's got a bit of a build up. And when you see my pantry declutter, because I got rid of so much, I had space for the deep fat fryer or the chicken, the chip maker or whatever it is. I had space for the bottles of wine to be put away. I've got space for all of the saucepans because I didn't just take it all out and put it back neatly, which is what I normally do. I took it all out, got rid of loads and then put things back. And of course there was more space and it's much easier to put my saucepans in there. So now I've just got to be strict and not leave the saucepans on the oven. So if on videos you see the saucepans left on the oven, feel free to shout at the TV, shout at your phone screen or put a comment to say, Emma, put the saucepans away. And my other video, you watched me clean all the sink and polish the sink and I moved the stand there which I put the dishes on and the cutlery container. I moved it away and cleaned it all down and thought about the fly lady's first task. Well, about 2 hours later, I looked and there was all dirty water and bits of food all up onto the draining rack. And I said to my husband, can you believe that I just now stood and a couple of hours ago, I just now stood and cleaned and polished that? But, there's so many things that he does do in the house. Like he's at work all day today and yesterday he prepped mine and my daughter's meal. He made the pesto and all I needed to do was cook the vegetables, cook the pasta and mix the pesto in it. And he does it's really lovely pesto. He does it with like cashew nuts, it's basil, garlic and something else. But it's really nice. I mean, he does it with chicken, pesto pasta, and it's lovely. We didn't have chicken. We just had the cashew and, the pesto and the vegetables. And you probably remember me saying before that my daughter's got a tree nut allergy. It's weird because before I knew anything about allergies, if I'd have heard someone else was allergic to some nuts and not others, I'd have thought that's strange. I mean, we actually tell everybody outside our immediate family that it's all nuts, and that's largely because lots of nuts may contain other nuts, so you have got to be really, really careful. But actually, she can have cashew and she can have almonds. So I like to kind of keep that up because I've got this sort of theory that if she went a long period of time without, for example, having cashew, there's a chance that she could become sensitive to it. I think one of the worst reactions that she's ever had actually was because of cross-contamination with cashew nuts. We were in Italy, and I look back and goodness me, it was really quite scary. We'd been out for the day and we'd been longer than what we'd envisaged. I don't know whether there was traffic problems or what. And we'd got like lunch and snacks, that we didn't have dinner. It was getting later and later, and we thought we've still got like an hour and a half to travel back, or an hour to travel back. Let's just pop into the supermarket and get her something just to eat in the car. So we were going around the supermarket, and because she can't have like any processed food really, because it's either going to have wheat in or dairy in or egg in, we were looking around to try and find her some things. So we ended up getting her some carrot, because I thought, right, I can kind of break this into pieces and carrot will fill her up until we get home for dinner. And I found a little bag of cashew nuts. I thought, fantastic. She likes cashew nuts, so she can eat them. Yeah, I will never ever give her nuts anywhere again outside of the United Kingdom, because very clearly that had got cross-contamination with other nuts. I don't know what, but she then had a really bad reaction. I can still remember it very, very clearly. I can remember where I was in the car, and I can remember turning around and looking at her and seeing her like not look herself, as she was, thankfully we didn't have to use any medication other than antihistamine, and the reaction calmed down. But you learn from your experiences, don't you? There was no may contain warning. Didn't say, may have cross-contamination with other nuts, but never again. It is hard, and I think quite difficult to understand if you've not got anybody in your family and friends that have got allergies, to think that you wander around the whole of a supermarket and you can find some carrot and some cashew nuts. There's a couple of things like, oranges. She doesn't eat oranges. They make her very wheezy, even though she's not allergic to oranges. But that's that, I guess. Hopefully the older she gets, the less sensitive she'll become to some of those things. So you can see I managed to get through quite a lot of the washing up quite quickly. I was determined to pile up as much as I possibly could to get it all done. And you'll see that I don't dry up my washing. I don't think I've ever done a video where you'll see me dry up. There's mixed reasons for that. Partly I don't think it's particularly hygienic to use a cloth to dry things up. But also, while everything's drip drying, I can get other things done. Although I do recognise that does make the kitchen look nice if that's all completely clear. Okay, I've talked quite a lot. What I want to do now is go through some of your comments. So there have been mixed comments regarding my last question about should I do the fly lady system. Some people are saying, yes, you give it a go. Other people have said, oh, it's very intensive. Keep on going as you are. So I'm leaning towards the read a little bit more about it and understand a bit more about it, but continue in your own sweet way, Emma. So I'm going to read through some of your comments where you're talking about this. So Michelle Perrier, I always wonder how I pronounce your surname there, Michelle, if indeed that is your surname. But Michelle says the fly lady is a great system. The biggest problem is it is very intensive. Build a few small habits first. Do your dishes after every meal. That's most of the problem. Starting on everything will be very overwhelming. Okay, thank you for that, Michelle. I do think I need to read more about it, and you are right. I do think that if I was to keep on top of the dishes every day, it would be much, much easier. Elizabeth Paul then says, Emma, the fly lady is the OG of decluttering and organising. She's been around for probably 30 years and her system has helped many people over the years. Oh, someone said that they'd first come across her 26 years ago. I thought that was a typo. I thought they meant 6 years ago. So she has been around for 30 years. Wow. I used to read her posts on her website and once signed up for her reminders. I soon unsubscribed from the reminders. There were so many throughout the day, they filled my inbox. Oh my goodness. You'd have to write a list to keep checking your inbox for the reminders. Oh dear. There are many other women besides Diane in Denmark on YouTube who use variations of the Fly Lady's original systems. The biggest things I learned from her is you cannot organise clutter. A few people have said that to me. If you think about it, when I first started out, so if you go right back to some of my earlier videos, I just thought, I'm untidy. I didn't realise that was because I just had too much stuff. And everybody kept saying, you've got too many things in your cupboards, you've got too many things on your sides, on your table, etc., etc. And then I kind of looked at it in a different view. So that's interesting. Yeah, you cannot organise clutter. You are doing the best thing by decluttering your home now. You can look at her system in more detail when you're further along in your decluttering, in my opinion. It can be modified to suit your life stage and home. Keep up your excellent job on decluttering and decide later if you want to follow someone else's system. Okay, Elizabeth, you've given me some good advice there. Very good comment. It's interesting because some of you say about how I motivate you when actually you're motivating me. I like this. So Melissa says, I've watched you for some time now. I appreciate that you keep plugging along on your decluttering, organising and cleaning mission. It motivates me. I'm pleased to hear that, Melissa. And thank you for letting me know. That was Melissa Lane. Melissa, I'm not sure where you're from. You might have told me before, but I've forgotten. I'm interested where you're watching my videos from. Esther says the kitchen looks great. I'm still patiently waiting for you to get rid of the papers taped to the front of your cabinets. Oh, Esther, you might be waiting a while because I'm not sure I could possibly get rid of those. I've got a dinosaur pictures that were created when my daughter was about 6. I've got some lovely little wintertime drawings that she did when she was about 5. And I think most of the other things are on the inside of the cupboard. So I guess that they might come off there at some point, but at the moment they're not going to be taken off anytime soon, I'm afraid. So please keep on watching and waiting, Esther. Cynthia says your kitchen is looking so good. I don't think I've seen that countertop look so clear. I really enjoy hearing about your family's activities and about Guy Fawkes. Thank you, Cynthia. I'm glad that you found that interesting and didn't just think that I was waffling on. Now, the interesting thing is, I touched on, didn't I, the fact that England and the different parts of the United Kingdom are vastly different in terms of our traditions. Beth Doe touches on this, but she says at the beginning, just from the start of this video, I could see that the kitchen is tidier at the start than it has been in any other videos. As for the Fly Lady, I get what you mean about the shoes, with the principle of being put together a good one, but shoes in the house were no. I've done the Fly Lady baby steps, but didn't find the zone cleaning very successful, but I definitely recommend trying it. As to whether you should try considering you have a lot of stuff to declutter, you literally said one of her mantras, jump in where you are. Oh, really? That's good to know. Day 1, maybe wash the pots, put them away and shine the sink in the evening. Doesn't mean it's the only thing you can do, but it's a habit building routine, really. So it is similar to Tom. Is it Tom? I think it's similar to Tom. That's from a person from Britain. I must say I agree with what you're saying about not really being able to see even England alone in a few days. I live in the Midlands and definitely see major differences between us. That's quite interesting. So, like, you've got lots of cities. So, for instance, if someone visited England and they visited Manchester, that's completely different to York, to Durham, to Canterbury, to Bath, to Glastonbury, to Portsmouth, to Liverpool, to Norwich, to Ipswich. So different. But Beth then says, such as Guy Fawkes, I know who he is and the Gunpowder Plot, but I've never made a guy and set fire to him. It's not a thing up here, although my tradition is to see the fireworks and make bonfire toffee. Ooh, yummy. Bonfire toffee. I might have a go at that this year. I've never made that, Beth. I've never made bonfire toffee. So I'm interested in our tradition. So did your parents or your grandparents make a guy? Do you know? That's funny, isn't it? There's loads and loads of photographs online of small children pulling their guy around in like a little go-kart, sitting the guy outside a parade of shops and saying penny for the guy. Now, I didn't do that, but my dad did. We just made the guy and sat him on the sofa for a few weeks. Yeah, and then burnt him. Which, when you look at it, it's a bit scary. It's a bit creepy when you think about it. But it's so interesting to hear there's different traditions in other parts of the country. I do know, like, our tradition of Mr. Valentine, that's a Norfolk tradition. Small parts of Suffolk also take part with the Mr. Valentine traditions, but I don't think they take place anywhere else in the United Kingdom. I'll have to share more about those when it gets closer to Valentine's. So Julie says, I like Tom. Yes, the organised mum method. That's it. Gemma Bray, she's British, and on YouTube there's books and an app. So I did download the app and I did follow some of the pages on Facebook, but I found that I didn't feel that sort of sense of achievement, because I felt like if I didn't get one of the things on the list done, I felt, oh, there's no point doing this day because I've already missed 2 things. Whereas with me, my little system at the moment, I feel like I'm moving forward and achieving things, and yeah, it's interesting. Deasia Grenage says, hello, this is Stacey from Virginia. Hello, Stacey. Stacey says, happy Monday, blessings to you. Thanks for sharing your super sweet and cool videos. Oh, that's nice. Thank you, Stacey. And Rebecca Corsa Wallace. So Rebecca, thank you for your update, Rebecca. She says, we've had an appointment on Thursday to find out about the MRI. We're also waiting on speech and language, as his speech has really been affected. So this is Rebecca's husband, which is heartbreaking, as he's a teacher and a musician and is normally so good at talking to people. I can't imagine what he's going through, you, Rebecca. It must be just so awful. One day at a time, one step at a time. I just hope he continues to improve day by day. Now, I do believe in the power of prayer, and I know that a number of people that follow my channel are Christian. Rebecca, I don't know whether you are or not, but I would like just to ask anybody who is Christian, please have Rebecca's husband in your thoughts and pray for a strong recovery. So we don't know his name, but the surname is Corsa Wallace. So please say a few words if you do believe in the power of prayer, to wish all the very best for a strong recovery. And then the last comment is from Carolyn. And Carolyn said, this is my favourite video ever. I'm sure the pantry will also be a fave too. Thank you very, very much, Carolyn. And Carolyn brought a tear to my eye because she donated to Natasha's Allergy Foundation through my page. Thank you so much. I will add that to the total once YouTube has told me how much September achieved. So thank you so much for those of you that have supported me, followed me, given me help and advice and tips. You're such amazing people. You're so kind and so supportive, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.